This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Previously on Back to the Story.
You can see as the tieflings begin to stand, one shouts an order to another. He just starts yelling. He kind of not quite drops his guard, but he just kind of puts his back against the wall and just starts yelling. As the dagger sticks into his throat, the yelling is suddenly cut off. My father told it to me, a bastard.
What does he look like, your father?
Like these, but blue.
Anyway, is everyone back?
Mm-hmm.
Think so? Okay, looks like it. So, coming back after our break, you guys have just opened the door into the hallway beyond Felix at the head. As you are moving down it, Felix, you immediately see with your vision hallway that goes back 20 feet before a 15 by 15 room, square room that goes up a little higher. The hallway here is about 10 feet, but the 15 by 15 room goes up maybe 16 feet or so. You can see in that 15 by 15 room, there's two hallways that go from it. They each go about 15 feet to the left and to the right. To the right, to both sides, there's a wooden doorway reinforced with iron, currently closed.
And from my vantage, I can't actually see any creatures in this room, any furniture or anything?
No. No furniture, no creatures. There is a chandelier that hangs down from the ceiling that it lights up the room a bit.
All right. So then I'm going to get about 10 feet down the hallway, so I'm halfway down, and then summon Aeon in the middle of that room and use my action to just, go into his head and do a spin around of his little pink brain.
Okay. And as you do so, you look around. As he spins, you see the hallway to the left. Again, wooden door, pretty simple. Spinning to the right, empty wall, and then the other wooden door before spinning back to you. The iron chandelier above you. It's simple yet high quality. It's not fancy, but it is well made. Above you, dimly lighting the room, but otherwise empty.
I would like to search for any signs of traps.
Okay, make an investigation check.
All right, so that is natural 20, so 25.
And are you moving down the hallway and searching, or searching via
Nope.
Aeon?
Aeon. I want to just kind of move him around the room, get closer to the entrance, look at that chandelier very suspiciously.
Okay. You look around, the floor all seems solid, no weight pads, the walls seem solid as well. The door where you're entering seems normal. To the left and right, both doors seem normal. There's faint cracks to the door on the right where it looks like flickering light is on the other side, but you don't see any traps. The chandelier looks well made, not trapped as well. There is an iron chain that goes up, hooking into a fisheye hook essentially, before moving over to the wall, to the front left corner where you could lower it if you need to. There are ember stones that are in the top that are using to light the room dimly.
Okay, so Felix will burst into the room and just run into it, shield up, make sure nothing happens before I wave the rest of them in.
Okay. Burst in, nothing happens.
Okay.
It's quiet.
I'll wave the others down as I give a listen at the door with the light.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Okay. What's my perception? 11?
You put your ear to the door, straining to listen. You hear like a very faint, quiet little moving, shuffling stuff around, but you can't really tell what it is.
All right. How big is this door?
It's about 5 foot wide.
All right. Well, I'll kind of back up and wave to Ball, because we're in a bigger chamber and about to get in. If he wants to be the one to, burst through this one.
Ball will nod.
Does it appear to be
do.
locked? Because I can undo that, if so.
It does seem to be, yes.
All right. I will try and thieves tool it.
Okay. Yeah, while you're looking for traps, you do recognize it's locked.
So that's a 15 plus something over 10. So, 26.
You unlock, and the door kind of shuffles, or shifts a little bit. It's unlocked.
And I will get out of the charging bull's way.
I'd like to do something before I go through. So let me know when that's what we're about to do.
So I kind of imagine like Felix getting to one side of the door and Ellery moving over to the other side of the door for when Ball goes through.
So the door is a pretty narrow hallway, so Ball's going to have to squeeze to be able to get through it. So there's not any room for anybody else. You can be behind him in line, but you won't be able to also be next to the door.
Let me get, I guess, yeah. So I'll get right behind him.
Okay.
I think you're up, buddy.
Okay, let me know if this is Gucci. On the round right before I go through, I'd like to cast Blade Ward on myself, which lasts until the end of my next turn. And then on the round that I go through the door, I would like to cast Hold Person and hold it for as soon as I open the door to let it go on the biggest thing I see, if there's anything there. If not, then I waste it, but so be it. Okay.
So you are preparing about to open this door, casting this spell as you put your hand on the door. But before you begin to push, it is opened. You see a figure is opening the door, revealing the room before you. The figure is, you think tiefling at first, though is maybe like 7 foot tall, that like hunched over, long like beard, like thick hair, like dreadlocks almost from the face, horns that kind of spiral back like those of an impala. He has a glaive in one hand, opening the door with the other. Before you see a very large chamber. It's maybe 40 feet wide, maybe 80 feet long. There's a few crates in the corner, barrels in the other. In the center is a long dining table filled with silverware and goblets and food and wine bottles and liquor bottles. Above it is a large iron chandelier. Atop it, ember stones that are kind of illuminating the room a bit. Swinging from that chandelier is a creature, has black bat wings, is kind of this hunched creature with hooked legs. The arms are morphed into the wings and is kind of bird-like almost, gripping upon the chandelier, slowly swinging to the left and right. It has a black body, except for the head. Looks like almost it's wearing a skull in a similar shape to the rest of its head. The only other figure in the room is sitting at the furthest chair on the long table and is currently cutting a piece of meat, putting it in their mouth to chew as they look up. You see a man, human, silver temples, dark black hair, in a very fine dark suit, who's currently eating dinner, it appears.
So that's a really awkward way for me to barge in there and immediately hold person.
Do you do so?
I don't know if I have a choice. Like if I held an action, like if I made that my
you basically
parameter.
Prepared to do it, and it's your choice whether, the trigger appears, do you release it or not? It's your choice.
I don't think the party would want me to do it, but I feel like Ball would do it.
Okay.
So maybe the one that, I guess in that moment, does the person that opened the door, do they look super threatening, or you said they looked kind of old and haggard?
It's like a tiefling that's currently on meth and cocaine. Like it's a weird fiendish looking creature hunched over with this thick beard, like dreadlock beard.
Okay, can I just do it to the one that's 60 feet away? Or is the person at the dining room 60 feet or less away?
Yeah, they're within range.
Then just as he's about to bite into whatever food he's got, I'd like to cast it then.
Okay, let me grab my dice because I moved them for some reason.
Because I wasn't supposed to do this. Obviously, the one time I, overly prepare for opening the door, nothing happens, and the time I don't prepare, I get 14 arrows to the face.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
You have this ball, you have this magic in your hands prepared as you cast the blade ward in and open the door. Suddenly, someone else does. And you see this sight before you. You see the man chewing his food, who looks kind of important and regal, almost sitting at the table, releasing the old person's spell at them as they take the piece of meat that they've cut, raise it up, look at you, and then bite into it and begin chewing. They take a napkin and kind of wipe their mouth a little bit as they lean back and have a sip of wine.
Oh, don't just stand there. Please come in.
Well, I guess Ball won't hold up everybody, so Ball will step into the room, eyes watching the methed out / cracked out tiefling.
Ball, are you still on fire? Or your armband?
Yeah, my armband will still be glowing.
Okay. The
just didn't notice the
fiendish figure with the glaive kind of steps to the side as you enter.
I was kind of back to the wall on the side of the door. I'm going to cast invisibility on myself before I go in there.
Okay.
So I'll wait until most of the party is through so I can just kind of try and creep.
Okay. So you guys slowly shift your way in through the narrow hallway into the opening chamber.
As I move forward to enter the room, as I pass by Ball, I am going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on him.
Sorry, is it okay if I step into the room?
Yeah.
Like I can just use my
Sure.
movement?
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just step up to the chair. Now I know you said someone was at the end of the table. I don't see anybody.
I couldn't find an icon I liked for them, but they're sitting at the other end of the chair.
Got it, okay.
Amson would recognize them if he steps into the room. Vesper might as well.
Yeah, I think we'd go in probably together.
Okay. So you guys, as you kind of filter in Felix Invisible at the end into the room, Amson and Vesper, you recognize this as Mr. Belvedere. Human, older man in his 50s, 55 maybe, silvered temples, dark hair on the top, very finely dressed and with glowing gold eyes.
And unless he can see past our disguises, he probably doesn't recognize us.
That's a good point. You guys look like waiters who have just walked in.
Before she kind of sidles into the room behind everyone, Stitches will also have her Eldritch Sight up, so she has Detect Magic.
Okay.
Cool.
You detect magic in the hand of the bearded fiend, his weapon. You detect magic actually on this table. There's an object that looks like a globe, a magical globe. What are those things that fortune tellers use? One of those, whatever those are called. And
crystal ball.
Thank you. It's like a crystal ball. It's like this dark purplish metal stand, and upon it is this dark amber glass sphere. You also detect an immense amount of magic coming from behind them. So this chamber is about 45 feet wide, 85 feet long. The ceiling actually goes up about 30 feet. It's a pretty high ceiling with a larger chandelier over the table. Behind the table on the other side of the room is a double doorway, about 15 feet wide doorway. And Stitches, you detect an immense amount of magic coming from that room.
I think at Felix, just what I've noticed, because I think he's the only one I can talk to at this point mentally, but I do that.
And I'll pass it along.
Well, please have a seat. There's plenty to eat and drink. We might have to move you over. Please, would you mind getting him a chair?
As he points over to the bearded fiend, who begins to move over to the side of the room and grab like a crate. It's the chairs aren't big enough for Ball, so it's dragging a crate over towards the table.
What do I have the pleasure? Normally staff don't make their way down here. Is there something I can help you with, perhaps?
Ball will think to Felix and say, do you have a plan here?
Oh my god, guys. Amson, can you come up with a story very quickly?
Amson will think, I will try as
And,
Alex panics.
and then also, is it like, are we still able to do actions here? Would Ball be able to use Divine Sense?
Yeah, you can. We're not in initiative order, so it depends on what the action you're trying. But yeah,
Okay,
you can do
it would just be Divine
Sense.
Sense as Ball's trying to think of what the plan might be.
The creature with the glaive is full-blown fiend, not tiefling, full-blown fiend. The creature, bird-like creature hanging on the chandelier, fiend, and nothing at all from Mr. Belvedere. Not like normal, just like void. There's nothing to sense.
I guess Amson will walk up beside Ball, and he'll say, we were just making our rounds and wondered if you need anything, sir.
Well, I appreciate your consideration. I do not. I would prefer you leave and let me finish my dinner. Go on.
Amson will give a courteous bow and say, of course, sir. Should you need anything, do not hesitate to call.
I will, of course.
And is basically waiting for you guys to leave. He's going to scoot his chair back a little bit, put his silverware down on the table.
Well,
I will think to them, go, I'll wait here, just get to the next chamber.
Amson will start to usher us out. All right, looks like our business is done here.
Ball will think, why don't we just kill the two fiends, and whatever this man is associated with the fiends as well. And I don't like that. Please relay this to the party, Felix.
I mean, that's a good point. This is probably it. Why don't we just ask directly? We've come this far.
Amson, I guess, will stop and say, sir, pardon my intrusion on your meal yet again. However, could you direct us to what is the wine called again?
Basil Black. It's more like a Jaeger.
Okay. Or, yeah, the alcohol. Where the Basil Black is being manufactured.
I've changed my mind. I want you to stay for dinner. Please. Have a seat.
And Amson, I need you to make a something save.
Is it a charm?
Yeah, it is. I think it's a charm effect. It's an enchantment effect.
Is it a spell?
Yeah. Does it look like a spell?
Yeah.
Okay. Then if it looks like a spell, Amson will just raise up his hand and dump a 5th level counterspell because I don't want to deal with that shit.
Okay. As you begin to try to make the counterspell too, as he's waving his hand and try to prevent him from casting the motion, speaking the words required, it doesn't seem to block the spell. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, damn it. Is it a charm? Because if it is, then I have advantage.
I think you do. This is from your elven heritage.
Yeah, Fey ancestry.
Yeah, this is a charming effect, I believe. Yeah.
That's not great, so I'm going to use luck. That is 18 plus nothing, so 18.
Just makes it. So you feel this pull, and you actually take a step towards the chair before you kind of catch yourself and hold back.
With all due respect, sir, I'm rather familiar with that at this point. Not today.
Well, I'm in the unusual position of having some strangers wandered into my dining chambers. Some strangers masquerading as waiters or caterers. I cannot simply let you go.
As he stands up from his chair.
Can Amson do one more thing?
Yeah, he's putting the chair, kind of tucking it back in the table, and is beginning to walk towards you.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll initiate this. Is anybody opposed?
What are you doing?
Amson's gonna say, "Oh, but sir, you invited me." And Amson's gonna cast blindness on him.
Okay.
So he needs to make a con saving throw.
And everyone roll initiative as well, as I'm doing this.
That's just bad.
Can I use inspiration on initiative?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I don't feel like being last.
I don't.
Can I use?
Yes.
That inspiration. Yes, just state it before, and you can.
Oh.
Any d20 roll.
Can I use portent on his saving throw?
If you would like.
I would like to.
Okay.
He rolls a 2.
Actually, you can't, and so you still have that portent, and you're going to find out why.
Oh, okay.
But you still have that use, so just keep that in mind. It's not fair for you to use that. I don't think he would technically be able to, so you still have the use.
For a portent roll?
Mm-hmm. I'll say why, and you'll be glad that it doesn't use that. I know that's frustrating. I will explain shortly that,
Okay.
and it will be better. Nice, Stitches. What's your deck, Stitches? Your deck score?
The score itself is 16.
16, okay. 22, Amson, nice. And Ball, double digits. That's solid.
Didn't even have to use inspiration.
Good job. That was shit. On my part. I'm pretty sure. God, that was a shit roll. So, as we begin combat, Amson, you say the words, and as you do so, you cast the blindness and deafness, and as the spell reaches out towards them, this energy coalesces around the head and the eyes. The magic doesn't seem to affect them whatsoever. They don't have to make a save. It just, the magic almost like fades away. It's immediately distributed and dissolves away once it gets near him. As he kind of clears his throat, he's now beside, so that will bring us up to him. Okay.
It is unfortunate that you've come down this path, but more souls for the vault.
And smiles. And as he does, he smiles at you, Amson, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I don't wanna. Is it a charm again?
It is not charm.
Okay. I'll use my DM advantage then.
Okay, go for
it. Oh, that's good. That's a 17. That's a 17.
Total?
Yeah.
Can I use, what's it called?
Tides of, we forget.
Bend luck. Bend luck is for other people's rolls, so that would give him an extra 1d4.
Okay, roll the d4. Actually, you don't have to. You rolled a 17. As the eyes glow, and they're already glowing yellow, they begin to shift in color. The circular pupils begin to elongate into like these snake cat eye like pupils. The gold has flakes of burning orange begin to show up in them. And as this happens, Amson, you feel your hand begin to quiver. Ellery, what do you do? What does bend luck do? I mean, I know what it mechanically does, but like, why does Amson not get feared by this call spear spell?
Oh, that is a good question.
Does he just look back at you and you like nod towards him and that steals him?
That is a really good question, actually. I hadn't thought about that. I think when I do this, I just kind of stare at Mr. Belvedere and shake my head. And I kind of see it as distracting him for just a split second.
Sure. So as he's kind of staring down Amson, tilting his head down, he sees your movement and kind of briefly locks his eyes at yours as you meet his terrifying gaze. But by the time he turns back, Amson, you've steeled yourself. That's all he's going to do. And he's actually going to step back and put his hands behind his back. Stitches, you're up.
Okay. I am 5, 10, 15, 20. Alright, so Stitches kind of looks around, and did Felix, through the telepathy or whatever, did make it clear that we're doing this? We're doing a thing?
Yeah, he would have passed along that that's probably the big bad.
Okay. In which case, Ellery, not Ellery, excuse me, Stitches. Sorry. Okay. She takes a good look at Mr. Belvedere and says, I like your outfit, but when I dress up as a frigid bitch, I try to not look so constipated. And casts Vicious Mockery.
And how is that a wisdom save?
Yes.
Okay. As you shout this out, he just kind of smiles and smirks. You can see his teeth, while they were white but otherwise normal teeth, you can see they're now like all serrated teeth. You can see these sharp teeth poking out in the incisors. He's just smiling back. Doesn't seem to be affected.
Yes. Okay. And she's going to kind of get out of the doorway, but stay pretty close to the door. Would his smile look feline, would you say?
Maybe a little bit. His eyes are either feline or serpent-like. It's kind of hard to tell.
Okay. Looks weird.
All right, that will bring us up to Ellery.
So the winged fiend is up in the chandelier right now?
Yeah, and so it's actually here, but it's about 25 feet up.
So
or 20 feet up.
I think I'm just gonna send 2 rays of Eldritch Blast in its direction.
Go for it.
First one is 23.
That hits.
Second is 25.
Okay, with it.
That is 12 points of force damage.
The chandelier is now rocking back and forth as it's beginning to spread the wings in order to launch towards you all. Anything else for Hillary?
I think I don't like how we're all clustered together because I don't know what any of these things can do, so I'm just going to move away from the others to the wall that's, what's the word? Perpendicular to the wall, to where the door is? Is that the word that I'm looking for?
Yeah. You move in and towards the bottom wall of the wall.
Around these crates and barrels.
Sure. You're pressed up against one of the long walls. That'll bring us up to Felix.
Okay. So Felix is going to do his little runny thing to try and get behind this guy. I'll get the token there eventually. And then he's going to do his best rogue impression and try and stab this thing.
Roll at advantage.
All right.
You magically move around the back of them.
So that is a 19.
That hits.
All right. There's no magic elements on it right now, so it's just 6 piercing damage.
And it's just a mundane weapon?
No, it's still my magic dagger. It's a +1 returning.
Gotcha. As you plunge the dagger into their back, you feel it almost sink in deeper, dealing more damage than you actually expected. Mr. Belvedere, he kind of like lunges forward before kind of slowly turning around to meet your gaze.
Then I will, now that I'm visible, bonus action, stab another one of the scrolls taped to my shield to get arcane weapon back. I'm going to do thunder damage again, and I'm going to try and take my second attack.
Okay, go for it. This time's trigger roll.
Natural 1.
Okay. You take the dagger again, trying to plunge. This time he turns and kind of grabs your wrist. This is going to be fun. And smiles as you can see the skin kind of tearing away, as you see flakes of deep burnt orange fur kind of poking out. You can see as he's holding your wrist, you can see his right hand is reversed as he's holding your hand in place, preventing you from stabbing him. And if that's all for Felix, that will bring us up to the chandelier creature, the bird-like fiend that swoops down. Ball, you would get an attack of opportunity on it if you would like to. This is flying above you, swooping down over you.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna hit it.
Okay.
Pardon my French. And I will use my inspiration when I hit it. When I try to hit it.
Okay.
13?
You swing the ball up wide, but it's too swift as it's landing in the center of the rest of you. And as it lands, screeches and arcs its strange bird-like head around. The screech is loud, and you hear it ringing in your ears. All of you around it have to make a Constitution saving throw. That's everyone
2022.
besides Felix and Hillary.
That's also a nat 20 for 20.
Also a nat 20 for 22.
What?
Or sorry,
Wow.
21.
Holy shit.
Just 12.
12 total.
Fuck this fiend in particular.
As this ball, you said 12 total?
Yeah, 12 total. Yeah, 12 total.
As the loud screech erupts from this creature, the rest of you kind of shrug it off, grit your teeth. Ball, the sound rings in your head. You find yourself throwing one of your hands over your ears as you're currently stunned. And that will bring us up to you, Ball.
What happens when I'm stunned?
So being stunned means you're incapacitated, you can't move, your ability to speak is impaired but not completely lost, you auto-fail strength and dex saves, and attacks of advantage. So I think basically you can't do anything. I think that's right.
Okay, so just be essentially, I lose my turn.
You lose this turn, yeah, essentially. So you're basically stunned.
So attacks have advantage against him because of that, but disadvantage because of the protection from evil and good. So I guess that makes it just a straight roll if anything attacks him.
Presuming, the evil and good, if it's a fiend, fey, or whatever else is on the list. That will bring us up to Vesper. As you see, Ball has one hand over his ear, dealing with the screech.
Okay, so seeing these fiends all around us, Vesper reaches for her holy symbol, and I think intends to cast the spell that conjures angels around her. But I think her mind wanders to Calvin and Ezekiel, who aren't here with us now, and who always kind of were on the front lines of fights like this, and I will cast instead Guardian of Faith. So instead of Host of Angels, it summons one large spectral guardian, which will appear, I'm going to say right hither between me and Ball. It is a large spectral guardian, appears and hovers for the duration, which is 8 hours, in an unoccupied space of your choice. It is indistinct except for a gleaming sword and shield emblazoned with a symbol of your deity. Any creature hostile to you that moves to a space within 10 feet of the guardian for the first time on a turn must succeed on a dex saving throw. And then it disappears after it does 60 damage, but it can basically do that twice. It does 20 radiant damage each
time.
Turn, yeah. Off your Belvedere, yeah.
Nice. Okay. And this, does this look like Diether? What does this look like?
I think it does. It's meant to be kind of this indistinct glowing figure, but I do think it has the multiple wings like that and the large shield with AIN symbol on it.
Nice. So it has the 6 wings and the shield conjured floating above between you and Ball. And if you wanted to move, Amson, you'll be on deck.
Yeah, I don't like being in this little crunch. So I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
And go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and start heading towards Felix and Mr. Belvedere.
Okay. So the other fiend with the glaive and the dreadlock beard, is going to begin to rush around towards Ball. So go ahead and the guardian.
So it makes a dexterity save.
Okay.
That's a natural one.
Yep.
Not much better. That is a 6/7.
Nope, so it takes 20 radiant damage.
This guy. He does have advantage. Didn't help. Damn, okay. So he is hurting but still up as he rushes around in a wide arc to get away from that thing. Isn't it come right there towards Ball? And he has. And is going to strike towards you, Ball.
Do we play that advantages cancel things out? Like, does he get advantage because This other fiend is right behind me?
Yeah, so he whatever there. He still rolled shit. That is a 15 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. He swings towards you. It slams it into your horse armor, but isn't able to penetrate through. And looking around, he's going to step up and deal with it, and is going to come towards Ball and get closer. Advantage. That's a natural 19 plus a number 20-something. 8 piercing damage, Ball, and make a Constitution saving throw.
Before that, I'm stunned, so I cannot. Am I still stunned, or can I still use a reaction now?
You're currently stunned, and you can't take
stunned until the start of my next turn, I guess.
Until
something.
An undetermined amount, yeah. As the dreadlock-like fur, the beard from its face suddenly morphs into almost like serpent-like things and latch on towards you, sticking in these thorns and prongs into you.
That's a 20 on my Constitution save.
Yeah, that makes it. You can see this green, dark liquid kind of dripping from the beard, but you kind of flex even though you can't quite move, and it doesn't affect you. That will bring us up to Amson.
Okay, I think this is probably a good fight for Beacon of Hope. So I'm going to cast Beacon of Hope.
Okay.
On all of my allies. So you have advantage on wisdom saves, death saves, and you gain hit points a lot. And then, as my bonus action, I'm going to inspire Sco with Stitches with L. And Noelle, I hope you like 90s music.
Who doesn't love 90s music?
Okay. So, Amson's gonna sing, oh boy. It's a hard key for me. She's a fashion girl in the fashion world, wrapped in linen. Hear me singing, got that special flair with everything she wears. Fashionista, fabulous-lista.
I squee.
So that's a D8, and I'm gonna take a 5-foot step away from this vulture bird thingy, because I don't like it. And that's my turn.
Did you just disengage? Otherwise it is going to take a swipe at you.
It was a
I said 5-foot step.
Oh, that's
5-foot step, bro.
Okay, so you shift defensively.
Broseph Stalin.
Nice of Stalin. Anything else for you, Amson?
No, that's everything. Action, bonus action, move.
Yeah.
So.
So as Amson does this, seeming to inspire Stitches, shifting away from the bird-like creature, it moves up to the tiger-like fiend who's holding Felix's wrist. He lets go, and as he does, like a cat's claws are almost extended from his hands, which are reversed. The right hand is facing leftwards, a sort of chiral enantiomer? Whatever, they're reversed. And he takes 2 swipes at you, Felix. Natural 18 plus a number, and then a natural 15 plus a number.
They're both going to hit, I'm pretty
okay.
sure.
The lower one is 23 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll crap on the dice.
Or, actually, after the first one hits, I'm going to bonus action repulsion shield and push him 15 feet.
Okay. So
or reaction, not bonus action.
Okay. That is 8 slashing damage, and you're currently cursed. So just keep that in mind. He takes the first swipe, dragging along your shoulder as the shield suddenly ignites, throwing him back, repulsing him backwards. He kind of lands there, tilts his head to the side, and then looks over his shoulder towards Vesper. And instead moves towards her. It's going to take the second strike against her. So that is a dirty 20.
Yep.
13 slashing damage, and you're also cursed.
Okay.
And that will bring us up to Stitches, who's inspired, standing next to the bird-like creature and Ball.
Stitches feels a surge of confidence because no one has ever sung to her before, and she is going to just make a great scream and throw 2 Eldritch Blasts at the flying fiend that's right in front of her.
Okay. It'll be a disadvantage from your current location, so you're within 5 feet of him. I believe that's what it is. Since it's
This
range.
is not going to be good. Okay.
You could take a 5-foot step if you'd like
You could
away,
shift
and
away.
that way you'd be able to get far enough to hit it normally.
No, I'm just going to stand and see if that works. Oh, okay. So we have a 11 and a natural 1, which is an 11 and a 15.
The 15 just barely hits.
Okay. And it's also a repelling, agonizing blast, so it is going to take 9 points of damage and is pushed back 10 feet in a straight line.
Okay, so it will be, we'll say, pushed this way around Ball. Since Ball is basically there, he kind of slides and tumbles around Ball as the blast throws him backwards. It kind of tumbles using its wings spreading to catch itself before it lands on the ground again, underneath the spectral 6-winged figure.
And I am going to want to move, but know where I can move, and am going to stay where I am.
Okay, that'll bring us up to Ellery.
Okay, I am concerned about Ball with 2 enemies on him, but this tiger-like creature seems like the bigger threat overall. So I am going to cast Chaos Bolt at 3rd level, and I'm going to use my DM initiative. Or, not initiative, inspiration.
Okay, and you're attacking...
Mr. Belvedere.
Okay.
That's 24 to hit.
The shifting magical energy, changing colors rapidly, going from hot to cold, crackling with lightning, shifting energies as you release it towards him. It slings towards him, and as it nears him, it just dissipates, spreading. You see flakes of like glitter-like elements of fire and ice kind of falling to the ground, not affecting him.
Right. I swear. And I picked the wrong target. I think that's it for me.
Okay, that'll bring us up to Felix. So you pushed him back, and then he clawed into Vesper as Ellery tried to attack him, and he was immune.
Okay, seeing that was not the best use of my thing, I'm going to drop the arcane weapon and cast haste on myself. And I'm going to just run. I'll take a wide arc so he can't get an attack, but get right next to Vesper. And then with my hasted action, I'm going to stab him once. That is a 16 plus 8.
Hits.
All right. So that is 7 piercing.
Okay. The dagger plunges in deeper than you would expect it to. This time you can see it narrows at your eyes at you. You're going to be a problem. What else for you, Felix?
Bonus action, I'm going to summon Aeon, also right next to him on the other side.
Okay. And that will bring us up to this creature, who is going to have to make a dex save, but is going to move there. Ball and Stitches will get attacks of opportunity if you want to use them.
Am I stunned?
Yeah, you're still stunned actually, so you aren't able to. Stitches, you would have the opportunity if you wanted to use your action.
Are attacks of opportunity non-spell only, right?
Unless you have Warcaster. Correct. They're just melee.
I am going to panic seeing this thing fly right back next to me, and I'm going to reach down into my shirt to the special pair of shears that I wear on a chain around my neck, and I pull it out, and I stab them with my scissors.
Okay, make an attack roll.
I'm going to use my inspiration. Okay, 22.
That's
And then I can 7 piercing damage.
Okay. Stab into its shoulder, tearing it along the darkened flesh. It's wearing a skull over it, but you can see it has a talon, and it's kind of wearing a strange bird skull over its own head. And then once it gets to that location, I need Ball, Stitches, Amson, Ellery, and Vesper, and Felix to make Constitution saving throws. And this guy as well, actually.
17.
14.
18.
18.
16.
So anyone 14 or higher succeeds. Anyone else is poisoned. So that's Ball. Or is that anyone else? I think everyone else rolled above a 14. So just Ball. As it moves to this and then opens its mouth, and you're preparing to hear the screech, but instead you see all of these like wasps that buzz out of it. And this plague of wasps that form out, moving toward you and start stinging into you before they immediately fall dead. And so Ball, and actually this guy is also poisoned. And Ball, at the end of its turn, the stun wears off. And that will bring us up to you.
Okay, so I can move now?
Yeah, you're no longer stunned. You are poisoned now.
Poison means disadvantage on attack rolls, I think, right?
Attacks and checks. Yeah.
Okay. If I wanted to move myself here on top of this table to kind of flank this tiger guy, is that possible?
To get where you were, you might have to make a athletics or acrobatics check. Otherwise, getting on the table would cost extra movement. So your choice.
I have 35 feet of movement.
Okay.
Would I be able to do that?
Yeah, you could with 35. You'll incur a couple of attacks of opportunity, but you can. You could do that.
Yeah, so I'll take the attacks of opportunity to get there.
Okay. So one from the bird boy. The bird boy rolls a 17.
That does not hit.
Bearded boy who rolls an 18 plus a number. 23.
I will use shield, so it just misses.
Okay. And he's going to attack you as well. And that is a not great 17.
Does not hit.
Okay. Yes, you're able to get there.
So now I think if I attack, it's a straight roll, because of flanking.
Correct.
So I'll do, Booming Blade here. Or, sorry, for Phoenix, like for the Green Flame Blade, does it have to hit a second target with the fire?
You can direct it into an empty space if you want to.
Alright, so
as long as there is one.
I'll do that then. I'll use my fire one. Okay. So a 9, I'm assuming that'll hit.
That is not. You swing the maul down, but he sees you coming as you jump onto the table, knocking glasses and candle holders and everything onto the ground. Before you slam behind him, he steps to the side as the maul slams into the ground, cracking the stone beneath.
With my bonus action, I'm going to use Compelled Duel on that fiend that is near Stitches and Anson.
Okay. And what kind of save is that?
Wisdom save.
That is a bad. So you yell at it and it looks over at you and kind of locks eyes as it begins to flap its wings to fly in your direction. Anything else for you?
So that'll be, that's in my turn.
Okay. Vesper.
Okay, at the start of my turn, I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself with my bonus action at 3rd level. So I heal 20 damage, or 20 points because it's max. And then with my action, I'm just going to try and stab him with my rapier.
Okay.
And I get advantage because Ball is flanking with me.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Who's the better? Same roll. That's a 16.
That will just hit.
Sick, okay.
You get sneak attack because you have advantage?
I do. I get sneak attack because I've got people here too.
Which rapier are you using?
That's my regular one because my Viper one is under.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's mundane.
Gotcha.
If that means anything. 3, 16, 19 piercing damage total.
Just momentarily distracted by a ball, he shows his back to you. You use that as an opportunity to plunge the dagger towards him, and it hits and doesn't sink in. It's like hitting a wall as you pull it back. The fabric sinks in slightly, but otherwise you're not able to penetrate him.
Cool. Okay. Amazing. Realizing that I literally can't do anything against this guy, I'm going to take my 5-foot shift away.
Okay. You wouldn't be able to cut the corner there. You could move to any of the other corners.
Right next to Amson then.
Okay. Shifting back, that'll bring us up to Beardy Boy, who's not doing great. He is going to this way and is going to attack Felix with his glaive. Actually, Vesper, you would get attack of opportunity on him if you haven't used your reaction yet.
I have not.
Okay.
It's also a 16.
That is.
For 11 piercing.
Okay. Natural ones in a row as he tries to strike out poisoned at Felix and just missing with the glaive. The beard lunges towards you and easily dodge under those as well. That will bring us up to Amson.
Yay. Okay. What do I want to do? Okay, I'll inspire Ball because he's not doing great with my bonus action. And Amson will sing, "Come all to see the mighty Ball, it's true. He's always here for me and you. Gather all around and you will see. When we're in trouble, he's the last to flee." So that's a D8 for Ball. And with my action, why not? I'm just going to try, even though I have better things, but I'm going to try anyways, to stab at the bird demon thing with a mundane dagger. Oh, hey. That is 21.
That hits.
Okay. So
the weapon sinks in, but doesn't go as far as you would hope, but it does do something.
Okay, good to know. That's 5 piercing damage. That is my action and bonus, and I'll actually, I'll stay there, I guess.
Okay.
Behind Vesper.
All right. That would bring us up to it, who will turn towards. Yeah, he'll turn towards Ball and attack him. That is not good enough. That one may be a 24 to hit.
Yes, that will hit.
Can I
11
use
slashing damage.
I was going to say if I could use my bend luck again.
Okay. I don't know the rules on that. So
yeah, so it's using sorcery points.
You can use. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, you can.
So that's a 1d4 penalty.
Okay.
Is there a limit to how many of those you can use, or is it just
it's sorcery points?
Sorcery points.
Okay, cool.
Which I'm running a little low on at this point, but should I do the 1d4 or should you?
You can roll it.
So that's -2.
22 to hit you, Ball.
So because I have shield from where I had the attack of opportunities before, it lasts until the start of my next turn. Yeah. So in that case, it just misses.
Okay. So he crawls towards you twice. The first time just raking along the armor. The second time the magical shield bursts and presses his arm back as he looks back a little frustrated. He is going to... He's going to begin to move away from you. He doesn't like that. That will bring us up to Stitches as I decide which way to move him.
Okay, Stitches sees Bird Boy, who is in front of her, who is turned to focus on Ball, and she is going to just wail another 2 Eldritch Blasts at him at disadvantage, which is 16 and 15.
Both hit.
Great. Takes 13 and 8, so 21 points of, I believe, it's force damage.
Yeah, and he's blasted back.
And he is blasted back 20 feet.
Yeah, so from point blank, as this one is slid, flying, tumbling backwards in air, slamming into Ball before coming to a rest on top of the chair.
And then Elle is going to run as far as she can around the other side of the table. And that's her turn.
Okay. And that brings up to Ellery.
I just remembered, assuming Belvedere is a fiend, then he would get disadvantage on attacks against Ball anyway. Just for future reference.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my bad.
So, the bird boy, is he... How tall, like, how high is he? Can I see
he's
him?
just like a foot over. You can see the top of his head.
I can see the top of his head. So, I am frustrated, but now clued in to the fact that magic is not a good tactic to use against Belvedere. I am going to turn my attention to the one with the glaive and try the same thing, this time using Tides of Chaos on my attack.
Okay.
That is a natural 20.
Yes.
And as I was doing it the same third level, so I'm doubling the dice. It's been a while since I've gotten a nat 20. So I'll have to do this in batches.
Sure.
So, okay. So that is 36 points of acid damage against the one with the glaive. And I rolled doubles on my d8. So it jumps and I get to make another attack roll against the flying one.
Okay.
This one, not at advantage. That's an 18 to hit.
That will hit, I believe, yes. Hits.
Okay. And this one is 19 points of... let's go with the lightning damage on this one.
Okay. 19 on them?
19.
Okay.
So it was, I think, 36 on the first one, 19 on the second.
Okay. You notice as the ball of acid slams into the bearded glaive one, it begins melting away, sloughing off the beard, burning away the arm as he crumples to the ground. And then from that acid pile, just lightning arcs off, slamming into the bird. Doesn't seem to hurt them as much as you would want, though it does strike into the shoulder.
Okay. And I will leave it at that for now.
That will bring us up to Felix.
All right. Felix is also going to 5-foot shift down one. So he can once again be flanking with Ball. And then I am going to take 3 attacks with my dagger.
Okay.
That's cocked. 14?
The 14, I believe, misses. Yeah, misses.
28?
That hits.
And 27.
Also hits, yeah.
All right. So that's 2. Altogether, that is going to be 14 piercing damage.
Okay. He dodges the first one, but the next 2 come at him, and he's distracted by a ball. As they plunge into his chest, you can now see his eyes are starting to dart around and starting to become worried. As the daggers sink into his flesh, you see his clothes are now torn on the outside. Anything else for you, Felix?
No, that's it.
Okay, that will bring us up to the bird boy. I shouldn't have started calling him that because it's stuck in my head now, but here we are. Who is going to fly? Ball and Vesper will get attacks of opportunity on him as he's coming towards you, Felix.
I forgot, are we allowed to grapple on attacks of opportunity?
Yes, but actually did your shield come back around?
No, my reaction comes back on my turn.
Okay,
so
okay.
I don't have
so you don't have it yet, but I think Vesper would if
Yeah,
she
I
wants
only
to
rolled
take
a 10.
Okay. So he gets to you, Felix, and is going to try to poke you with its beak. That's a dirty 20 to hit.
Miss.
Okay.
22
Strikes
with
up
haste.
towards you. 22 with haste, dang. As you kind of twist to the side and dodge the attack. That would bring us up to Ball.
Since I still have the potion of fire breathing active, I'd like to spit some fire at this Mr. Belvedere right in front of us.
Okay.
It's a DC 13 Dex save.
Okay. That's a 19.
Alright, so it's half damage, which will be... Oh wow, that's a good roll. 9 fire damage.
Okay.
And I do have Elemental Adept if he does have any kind of resistances.
Okay, so that gets around that. As the flame's going to burn, singe some of his fur.
And then with my action, I would like to swing at it with my maul. It's a straight roll because of flanking and poison for a natural 1.
You swing it up over your head, but as soon as you lift it over, a sudden nauseousness slams into you, and the weapon comes down, but your vision almost blurred until you feel the vibrating in your hands, and you kind of come back to seeing mist as you step to the left of it.
Is the poison on my weapon still intact?
It's hard to see with your blurred vision, but it hasn't been that long. It should still be active.
Okay. What else can I do? Maybe I will... I don't think I can do much else. I think that'll just be my turn.
Okay. We'll bring us up to Vesper.
Cool. Now that I'm no longer flanking, I'm going to use my DM advantage on this because I want it to work. I am going to... the flying demon is within reach, right?
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to reach out, and I'm just going to take a swing at him, and I'm going to try and cast Inflict Wounds at 3rd level.
Okay. So it's flying about 5 feet above the ground at head level.
17?
Hits.
Fuck yeah. Okay. That's 18 necrotic damage.
All right.
Just want to crack it across the jaw.
And as you do, cracking it across the jaw, this energy transforms down the jaw, down the neck, and onto its left shoulder. It almost withers away the skin, revealing bone beneath. Somehow, some fiendish magic still holds it together, but just barely.
And with my bonus action... Oh, no, I can't do that, actually. Never mind. Yeah, that's it. That's me.
Okay. Brings us up to Amson.
So I'm going to run around Vesper so I can get a better vantage point of it. And... yeah, sure, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on it, so it needs a Wisdom save.
Natural 1.
Okay, so it takes... Please roll good. Please roll good. Yes! 7 psychic damage again.
That's enough.
And Amston's gonna say, your weak old maggot burger with everything on it flies on the side.
Its lower jaw begins to kind of quiver as tears well up in its eyes, and it kind of bows its head before dropping to the ground. You can see Mr. Belvedere in his feline, fiendish forms now looking down as his dead henchman, and then at the rest of you. Anything else for you, Amson?
Actually, with my action, I'll take a step away from Mr. Rakshasha. And, yeah, that's it.
Okay. The Rakshasha looks around and disappears.
Stitches casts Counterspell at 5th level as a reaction.
You see as he waves his hand, and you attempt to disrupt his hands, his somatic and verbal components, but whatever magic you're using doesn't affect his casting as he continues and disappears.
Do I lose the spell?
Mm-hmm. And that'll bring us up to you, Stitches, actually.
Well, Stitches is running along the table, and I guess that's not as important now. But she was going to attempt sleight of hand to grab the crystal ball and stand and dump it in the cigar box of holding.
Make an Arcana check for me.
I could do that. 18.
Okay. Thank God. As you pick it up and you open the box and you begin to pull it in, you hear a strange tearing sound almost like trying to force two magnets together. You know that if you continue to do this, it's like something's going to rip.
Oh, definitely would stop. Definitely would stop. But kind of still hold on to it.
Okay. You still have it.
And would just kind of go, guys, what are we doing? What's going on? And ends her turn.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Ellery.
First thing, I will draw the bone shiv from my arm and swear as I do so. And then, do I hear any sound of movement?
You can use your action to make a perception check if you like.
I will do that.
Okay.
Always have to check that number. That is 21.
You hear shuffling feet in this direction.
Sorry, I wasn't looking at the map. I didn't.
Towards the large door at the end of the chamber. So you entered in one room, or one side of the long room, and on the other side of the long room, towards the big double doors, you heard something.
So, that was my action. Yeah, so I will... No, I don't really have enough room for that. So I will just point that direction and shout, I think he's running that way. And then I am going to use all of my movement to follow in that direction. So that's...
Okay. And as you're running in that direction, that'll bring us up to Felix.
All right. Felix is gonna just start running. On my way past Ball, I'm going to grab my See Invisibility scroll and put it in his hand. And then I want to get to there in front of the door if I don't hit anything.
Okay. Yeah, you can get there.
And then I'm just going to ready an action if I feel on either side of me someone trying to open this door so that I can stab it.
Okay, got it. And that will bring us up to Dead Boy and to Ball.
Felix, now is not the time for love notes.
Cast the damn scroll!
Ball gets mad at you and rips it in half. No, Ball starts to read the scroll. I don't know how you actually cast the scroll. You just read it, I suppose?
Basically.
Okay. Ball frantically reads the scroll.
Okay. And as you do, the letters ignite as you read it before the paper dissolves into this glitter that almost obscures your vision. As you look through it, you can see, almost like looking through an infrared camera, and you can see standing right there in front of Felix, skidded to a halt, is the tiger form of Mr. Belvedere.
I'm going to run in that direction. I think I saw where you pinged, so I'm going to go to there. Let me know if I screwed up and I'm on his square. And reading a scroll is an action, I assume, right?
I think so.
Correct.
So with my bonus action, I'm going to just spit some fire on top of, since I can see him, then on him. It's a dex save.
I think you would hit Felix too.
No, it's the fire breathing potion. I don't think it does AoE damage, does it?
I thought it did. Regardless, that is 17.
So that will make it so he just takes half damage. It's a shit roll, so that's 3 fire damage. And as that fire comes out of my mouth, I yell that he's right in between us.
Can I release my held action then, now that I know where he is?
Yeah. Straight roll because you're flanking, but you can't actually see him.
Okay.
Maybe even for flavor, just when that fire explodes, it just for a moment kind of creates this shimmer of
envelops around the silhouette of him, sure.
There's an 18 and a 27.
Both hit.
So that is 4 plus 8, 12 piercing damage.
Okay. You hit something hard both times, sinking in. As you pull it out, you can see this dark liquid dripping from your blade. And that will bring us up to Vesper, if that's its fur ball.
Yes. That's it.
I'm going to have to use my bonus action to dash to reach him, but I will get up to Ball and just plant my hand on his back and cast Lesser Restoration, and cure him of his poison.
Ball mutters under his breath. Sick.
I think that's pretty much all I can do right now, because I'm pretty useless otherwise.
And that will bring us up to Hampson.
Okay, so as my bonus action, I'm going to cast Expeditious Retreat, which doubles my move speed. Boom. As an action, you remember that flower that I bought for no reason because I have Fairy Fire? And I totally forgot about it. I'm going to take that off my pack and throw it at right in between Felix and Ball.
Oh, flower, the substance. I was like, I don't remember.
I liked watching Quest
A bouquet.
break that down.
Okay. Sure, it's your action to throw it, but yeah, you can do so.
Yeah, I just take the end of the sack and just throw it all in front of me.
It flies all over Ball, all over Felix, but also lands partially on a person about the size and shape of Mr. Belvedere. So you definitely know where he is now.
I think that's my turn.
Okay. Actually, Hampson, give me a D100, just real quick.
91.
Okay. He's pretty covered in flour. You can pretty well see him. You got him pretty good. That will bring us up to him. Looking around, he'll appear non-invisible anymore, still covered in flour, coughing the white powder flying into the air.
No frustrating me, but I'm doing work that is beyond you. Join me.
And he's saying this looking at Felix. I need you to make a wisdom save, yeah. Advantage against this, since you're fighting him.
Okay. I also have advantage against charm effects anyway.
Okay.
Because I'm an elf.
Old elf boy.
Not amazing, though. That is an 11.
With advantage?
Correct.
Okay.
Get rid of your friends, and I'll reward you.
As he commands Felix to get rid of your friends. And that'll bring us up to Stitches.
Okay, Stitches would like to use her move to climb onto the table, so I'm assuming she'd have a better sight line. I mean, Ball's kind of in the way, but would that give her a better sight line to everyone at the doorway?
Not a great sight line to Mr. Belvedere or Felix. You know they're there. You maybe see the tops of their heads, their shoulders, but not much. Ball's a pretty big guy.
Well, that's just about all she can do. So she's going to stuff the spear that she has down her shirt, so she has her hands free, and she's going to climb on the table, and she's going to try to sling 2 Eldritch Blasts at Mr. Belvedere.
Okay. He's going to have a pretty big cover bonus, but you can attempt it. Sure, fire up. Dirty 20 and 13. Both will miss, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to weave it around Ball with actually hitting him, without hitting him, you end up going a little high, slamming into the door behind him. The wood kind of snapping and breaking from the force. Partially.
Okay. If she has any move left, she's going to see that it's not working and kind of get back down off the table.
Okay. And that will bring us to Hillary.
There's not a whole lot useful that I can do on this turn. So I am going to... Let's see how much movement I have. I'm going to use my action to dash to get up to Mr. Belvedere. And I think that is going to have to be it for now.
Okay, that'll bring us up to Felix. So you've been commanded to get rid of your friends.
Okay. Well, hi, Ellery.
Joke on you, we're not as friends.
So, Ellery, that is a natural 1. My first stab. Second stab is a 19.
You know, I am going to cast shield.
Okay. And my third attack, because I'm still hasted, is 27.
Oh, yeah, that one hits. Even
Sorry.
with shield.
It's still just a baby dagger. So that is 6 piercing damage.
What the fuck, Felix?
And Ball.
Alright, Ball's action. Ball is going to try to swing at it with his maul. I'm no longer poisoned, but I don't get flanking bonus because we have a traitor in our midst. So with my maul, this would be the green flame blade. 12. I will use inspiration anyway. I don't know when else I'm going to use it. Oh wow. 20 then?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So I'm going to put giant smite into it. So let's do a 5th level smite. So that is 6 bludgeoning, 6 fire to it. What else? I also have the poison thing on me, which it's DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
Fails.
So that's 18 poison damage, and then 5th level smite for 28 radiant. And then I spit fire on it with my bonus action.
You can certainly do that for flavor, but how do you want to do this? Jesus.
I think Ball's just frustrated because the entire fight, he felt like everything he wants to do is just, he tries to swing with his maul and just hits the ground. He's feeling poisoned and just stunned and just feels like the whole time he's been more of a spectator rather than a contributor to the fight. So when he finally gets, this Mr. Belvedere cornered, kind of just, finally channels everything he's got into him. Just as he's about to swing, he, inspired by Anson's song, is able to strike true, and the maul comes just straight down on Mr. Belvedere's, maybe the back of his skull. Maybe Mr. Belvedere is facing Felix in this moment.
Yeah. So you, with this frustration, this radiant, glowing maul comes down, slamming into the back of his skull, just smashing like a watermelon the fiendish skull, and getting jammed into the spine and shoulders as the body crumbles beneath the weight, immediately slamming it into the ground. You all can almost feel the tremor of the impact hitting the stone, cracking it beneath the crumpled body. Felix, you immediately shake out of the spell that was dominating your mind as you see the crumpled body of this fiend beneath Ball's maul, massive, as the flames kind of lick out of his hands and from the burning crown around his bicep.
Well, that sucked.
I turn to face Felix with my shield still up. Are you back on our side again?
You're not dead yet, so clearly.
You barely scratched me, Felix.
Anyway.
It's so sweet that you think we're all friends.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Good work,
that's...
everybody.
What was that, Ball?
Good work. It wasn't easy.
As your guys are speaking, nothing additional comes, but the body of Mr. Belvedere and the other two fiends begin to almost like sizzle and burn, starting with the eye sockets. Begin to almost burn out. Anyone with Arcana can make an Arcana check for me.
I will do so.
Do their weapons burn out too, or can Ball find a glaive?
It doesn't seem to be burning out, glancing over.
16.
That's a nat 20 for 27.
19.
So Felix, L, and Amson know that the bodies of some extraplanar entities, these must be what some of them will sometimes burn away to be reborn on their home plane. And if anything is to be harvested from them, you have to do it immediately. Am said you would know this mainly pertains towards the bodily parts. Fiendish hearts and blood in particular are typically used in rituals and usually nefarious dark rituals. But they have to be harvested immediately, otherwise they'll disappear. But the glaive and equipment doesn't seem to be going anywhere. The mundane clothing is beginning to burn up.
I will take a couple vials of demon blood, knowing that.
Mark down a couple vials of whichever blood you harvested, Rakshasa blood or froth.
Of course.
Of
course.
Yeah.
Paul will go pick up the weapon. Did you say that was a magical weapon?
Elle noticed that earlier. And I think that was relayed to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Paul would rather have. Paul's a bit more familiar with the glaive anyway, so we'll go pick that up. Maybe he'll assist if someone needs help harvesting whatever these guys have to offer.
Is anyone super fucked up, health-wise?
No, I feel funny, but I'm fine health-wise.
Are you sure?
I don't know. When he scratched me, something, I don't know, I feel chilly.
Yeah, I actually feel the same way. I was hoping it would pass after we, and I nod to whatever's left.
I'll have to figure it out later. What have we got in this room?
I pull the crystal ball out of my shirt and hold it up. Do you know what this is?
We can most certainly find out.
I'm going to move up into the top right corner of the room. I'm not sure how far my range will extend, but I want to try sending message to Orr and check in with him. I have a range of 120 feet.
You don't hear anything.
Can I tell if I'm out of range?
You just don't get a response.
Okay.
Ball, were you harvesting something?
Yeah, if no one needs help with anything, Ball, when he's going to pick up the glaive, you'll see how cool this bearded guy's
Impala, fiendish, spiraling horns, corkscrewing almost up.
Exactly, yeah. So Ball's going to look at those and say, going to go for them. And you said to survival roll?
Survival, yeah.
Maybe really quickly, Ball will look behind him and see if anyone does look like they're doing nothing to assist him. Otherwise, he'll try himself.
Can I use my historian feat to help and also give him a D4 by recommending advice on what I've read about harvesting from fiends?
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So, in addition to advantage, you also get +2 as I lecture.
I just like these because they're cool. With advantage, +2, so that's 19.
Yeah. You're able to pretty easily get the horns without damaging them. You get a pretty clean break on just the base of them and have 2 bearded devil horns.
Guys, I'm gonna check on Orr. I'm gonna go down the hallway a bit.
I'll come with you.
So
Shouldn't go alone anywhere.
I will start heading
some
back
squeeze and follow her.
That direction, just repeatedly casting message.
Okay, yeah, you once you move about 30 feet or so in, you do get a response. I'm quite here. You live. Good.
Yeah, we ran into some trouble, but we're alright, I think.
Of course.
I think we're going to keep looking around a little bit more, see what we can find before we get out of here.
I will watch here.
Can I open the door?
Yeah, and it's unlocked.
All right.
Stitches will speak up and just remind everyone that there's a lot of magical energy coming from beyond the door, so to be careful.
And as you open the door, there are steps that lead up, actually. Wider, maybe 50 feet wide chamber and maybe 100 feet long chamber. The steps go up to where they eventually lead up to an elevation maybe 25 feet up. And on the top, there are 8 columns in a square surrounding a central area. The central area has this copper vat at the bottom, and atop it is a statue of a figure who is holding almost like a offering bowl, where there are these strange, kind of looks like emberstones, kind of looks like this strange red crystal is like growing unnaturally from the offering bowl. Circling that statue and vat are runes in like this crimson purple color, circling around, glowing.
And this looks like the place I saw in Mrs. Fernburn, or whatever her name was, Mind. I don't know why I can't remember her.
Fernarm, yes.
That's it.
Can we approach it? Sorry.
You can certainly try.
Sorry, Felix, I think I interrupted you.
No, I was going to say the same thing, so let's go.
Okay, so then, Ball will walk up. Not, like, onto the runes, because that looks spooky, but just to get a closer look.
Okay. As you come closer, you again see this tall statue. It's maybe 12 foot tall, massive statue. It's made out of stone, but has feathered wings, a male humanoid. He's wearing just basically almost like a kilt, like ceremonial skirt and nothing else, a muscular, lithe figure. Horns around its head, long black hair flowing back, a grin upon the face. If you have religion, you can make a religion check. And we're going to wrap up here soon.
Can I make it since I have Jack of all trades?
Yeah, if you have religion or Jack of all trades, you can make a religion check.
It's a 19.
Well, Ball clearly doesn't know what it is, so Ball will look around and say, does anyone know what this means? Is this what collects the souls, as Mr. Belvedere said?
So, was it just Hampson rolled a 19, no one else rolled religion?
Nope, sorry, I was muted. I rolled a 17.
17, okay. Vesper, you know this vision, it seems somewhat familiar. You think this is one of the demon thieves, these lords of the abyss, though you can't remember which one. Hampson, you know the name Vademir. You've heard stories about him. This demon of debauchery, parties, drunken lush, murder. This statue resembles him. I will also say with that role, Hampson, you know that generally idols, even the spoken name, and some of you have some experience with this, actually the scales do, of demon thieves draws demons. Statues, names, symbols, it all draws demons to it. So something like this, a full-blown altar almost, certainly would have a strong pull of abyssal fiends.
Amson will tell that to the party then.
You also see as you guys are closer, there are all these like strange arcane like wires and pipes. The strange mix of like arcane device and steampunk machinery that comes together, connecting the crystals to the vat, and then wires hanging from the ceiling that aren't fully connected.
I wish we had cameras so that we could take a photo of this as evidence.
What is a camera?
Well, I can do this. I will take out a scroll, and using magical tinkering, I will place my quill on it, and a sketch will appear on the scroll.
Okay. So almost like a printer style, the quill goes from left to right, quickly printing out a sketch of this in good detail.
Could Ball use divine sense? I assume I won't feel the presence of any person, but maybe a sense of that it's desecrated?
Desecration from this location. It's almost overwhelming. And you also get from this location a sense of aberration. And
like
fiend.
An entity?
The fiend is kind of like this desecrated fiend feel, but the aberration is like an entity, and it's coming from the vat.
Ball will turn to Vesper and say, this is desecrated, and there's some sort of aberration in the vat. I wonder if maybe it's alive. And Paul kind of says it like he doesn't really understand how he's feeling that sensation. I don't think we can leave this place the way it is. And I don't know if we are safe yet.
Right.
Do I have... sorry. Do I
Go
have
ahead.
any idea what the runes might be doing?
They are in Arcana check to try to understand what they're doing.
Okay. 15.
They are abjuration in nature.
Oh, I'm sorry. 20.
20. Okay, so they're abjuration in nature. But you also get that they're less protective and more like containment. They're designed to contain something in the vat. But the way the crystals are oriented and how the runes orient to the crystals as well, seems like something that would be funneling through the crystals into the vat. The vat is this copper, almost like a pedestal made out of copper. There's this one window of thick glass. Inside you see very dark and murky liquid.
Well, this might be horrifying. And I will summon Aeon inside the vat and look through his eyes.
You'll do that?
You adjust as you shift towards Aeon's vision and to the murky waters. And inside this dark, mucky water, you see a silhouette of something dark, and it's shifting. It's this bulbous mass of flesh, this kind of gray matter. And as it kind of gets closer to it, you see this like pulsing nodes of electric energy, these neurons firing all over. And as you kind of trace the vision across, you see the fleshy mass of brain matter all grown together into one big mass. You can see wires that are kind of plugged into it, these spikes into the mind that lead up towards the rest of the device, we'll say, outside the vat.
I will dismiss Aeon, blink a few times. There's a big brain in the vat?
That does not sound good.
Also, these runes are helping to contain it.
Okay, that's probably a good thing, right?
My best guess is that it's a required material in whatever they're creating here. I am going to gingerly step over the runes.
Stitches prepares 2 bolts of Eldritch Blast. She does not use them, but she is holding them, very ready to use them.
As you step over, the runes kind of shift for a moment, but nothing happens.
Ball won't leave Felix hanging, and will, I guess, step over as well.
And I will put my hand on the vat and see if anything on the window.
Okay, you put your hand on the window. Nothing. You see something shift in the window, dark. A strange, like, mass becoming a tentacle-like structure that moves up towards the window. You see these, like, red neurons firing off towards it.
I will turn to the group. Anyone have any ideas?
If it's contained in the vat, why don't we just destroy the vat?
Do we want to let it out is the thing. There's probably a good reason why it's being contained by so much magic.
Isn't it what is being used to store your souls?
I don't know. Should we just break some pipes and wires?
I feel like that will only set them back, not stop them.
Do we want to kill the brain?
It is an aberration. I don't know why we would allow it to live.
If
it's even living.
If we can do it and while staying outside of the runes, that might give us a better chance at doing that without taking much harm.
I could try and talk to it.
You said it's a brain.
And I can read thoughts.
And what do you think it can do to you?
Well, I was going to do it through Aeon, so I'm hoping nothing.
I too hope nothing happens.
Before we get into this, I'll turn to Elle. This is a whole nother level to everything that we've been doing. If you want to leave, we can get you out of here before we jump headfirst into whatever this is.
Gosh. This is, wow. So just very much, she's just kind of standing there, just staring at the thing with the Eldritch Blast held in her hands, and she is not sure what she's doing. She does not want to be here. And then she's like, can I sleep at night knowing it's still here? She doesn't know. I don't know.
It's up to you. We won't hold you to anything. This is a lot.
You don't have any obligation here. On the other hand, from what you said about your visit to the Fern Arms, you might be marked as a part of this now.
I glare at Felix's back. Yeah, probably. So she's staring the back of Felix and holding on to those Eldritch Blasts and says, I'm not sure I'll be able to sleep again unless I know what the hell is going on. So what are we going to do about this?
And we'll say, as she asked this question, you kind of look towards each other, wondering what you are going to do about this. You know, all of you looking at each other and then turning your heads towards this infernal ruined magic circle in the center, this vat with some aberrant horror inside of it, powering some demon lord, abyssal Teve, idol above altar. Will fade out on tonight session, and we'll pick up next week since it's almost midnight.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Download the app of your choice and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can always email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, NPCs, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or on our Tumblr, back-to-the-story.tumblr.com. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory. We'll see you next time in Norithville.